Well, before I start, I want to say thank you very, very much for the opportunity to speak. Welcome to everybody. I understand that this is the last session, so I believe I'm holding you from the after event drinks and networking. So I won't keep you too long, but and I want to keep it a little bit lighter, given that it's the last session of the day. But I found that Lasse's presentation was actually fascinating and led to a couple of things that lead nicely into this presentation, which is the innovation that is available with digital money in all of its forms, whether it's stable coins or whether it's tokenized deposits or whether it's CBDCs, retail or not, are actually phenomenal. But as you said, the elephant in the room is that CBDCs will take a long time, and there is a requirement for standards. There's a requirement for standardization, coordination between institutions at a supranational level and at a national level and at a commercial level before you get this kind of innovation. So I wanted to start with this paradoxical, oxymoronic title, innovation and stability, because I realized I was in the innovation room, but I'm talking about stable coins and where's the innovation in the stable coin? So I wanted to tell you a bit about how I reached this conclusion. And essentially, what are the contents here? I'm talking about the crypto ecosystem when I joined the market in 2022. I'll be talking about the crypto crash of 2022 that we all remember, the rationale for stability, and then the development of Stablecoin Standard, which is a standard-setting organization for stablecoins. So this picture is meant to represent the innovation stability. So the stability of the suit with the innovation of the cape. So hopefully it heads in the right direction and keep things light. So I want to start with the situation in 2022. My history is TradFi, worked in banking at Citibank, FX prime brokerage, CFDs with IG. So I had a long career in financial services. I worked for GMO Group, which was one of the largest FX brokers in the world on the retail side. I moved to their stablecoin issuing business, GMO Trust. We're a New York DFS regulated trust company, and we issue two stablecoins, a dollar-based stablecoin and a yen-based stablecoin. But I joined this business in March 2022. So at that time, it was a very interesting and turbulent year, as we remember. What happened? In May, Terra Luna collapsed, which was a stablecoin. So I'm there to start the stablecoin business, and an algorithmic stablecoin lost $40 billion in 3 days. Then a crypto bank, Celsius, failed in June, as we know. Then there was the Three Arrows Capital collapse, which had consequences in June. Voyager then filed for bankruptcy. Voyager was then bought by FTX. Then FTX filed for bankruptcy. And then BlockFi also filed in the same year. So what are we saying here? There was innovation, and there was certainly innovation in the product set. There was innovation in the products, and the innovation, but there wasn't stability. The innovation had led to a run on products. It had led to bad governance. It had led to fraud, and it had led to criminal activity in one case. So, remember this guy. This was the innovative poster child, Sam Bankman-Fried, for responsible crypto and regulatory progression. He was the one who was sitting in front of Congress, if you remember, in 2022, saying that he could help regulate the traditional financial markets because his systems were quicker, he was better. But actually, behind the facade, it was just fraud. And he's now a criminal, and he's serving jail time, as we know. So this was the environment that I entered into 2022. At the same time, we saw that the digital asset space was maturing very, very quickly. So formal structures that have had time to mature in TradFi had to be formed at pace, and they were not there. I came from FX. We have the ACI, which is a very established FX committee. We have the FXPB. They together formed and wrote the FX Global Code of Conduct. In retail broking, there are associations, various associations and consortiums of participants and industry actors that help to regulate structure as industry bodies to share best practice, to share thought leadership, to share these things. I saw that stablecoin issuers did not have this. It was quite strange. So it seemed disorderly. Um, in the digital money conversation, and it's interesting that Lasse's previous talk was very much sort of CBDC focused. But again, the problem with the CBDC is the delivery cycle to get going takes a lot of time. So stablecoins have established themselves to be a success story for crypto. I think there's no doubt that they are, people keep saying it's the killer use case for crypto. And indeed, it has had a lot of adoption. It's used in a variety of wide use cases for good, inflation hedging in South America, transaction. It's the first gateway, but and it's the bridge product between traditional finance and the crypto universe, the crypto ecosystem. I found that legislation was being discussed and passed specifically about stablecoins in a number of major jurisdictions. So, of course, we all know about MiCA. We know the MAS in Singapore. There were discussions in the US at a state level, and also there was a proposed stablecoin bill, but without an industry body that represented the issuers themselves and showed that global expertise. So it was fragmented. It was led by individual companies without individual subject matter expertise or regional subject matter expertise. So my fear was entering this space. I saw this was very analogous to the FX world of sort of 10, 15 years ago when everything went to electronic trading, that it was fragmented. And there was a danger that poor legislation would be passed without scrutiny from an industry voice. So this was the gap that I saw, and others that helped me set up this union that we saw together. And this is the gap that we try to address. So what is our why? The Stablecoin Standard is simple. It says what it does on the tin. We're the industry body for stablecoin issuers globally. The innovation, and this is where I'm saying innovation and stability, we're in the innovation room, of course. The innovation needed was the stability in structures linking the issuers of the stablecoins with other providers and members of the supporting ecosystem so that the engagement with the nascent regulation could happen in an authoritative and a knowledgeable way. So our intention is that we share best practice, business development use cases, industry-led working groups, define what a high-quality liquid stablecoin should look like, engage with policymakers domestically and internationally. So this was the rationale. And from this solid foundation, we believe that we can sort of raise the bar for stablecoin issues and help them to get wider adoption in the financial ecosystem and beyond. So these are our core pillars. The progress, we're nascent, and we're bringing a nascent and fragmented industry together. Education, it's really important to share resources to educate the world, retail, institutional, regulators about the benefits of stablecoins, and I would say wider than that, the benefits of digital money in all of its forms and the innovations that it can bring. The use case execution. So by bringing together the stablecoin ecosystem from issuer, so custodian, to centralized exchange, to DeFi venue, to layer one provider, to layer two system, we can help to expedite specific use cases. One of the issues that a lot of people talk about in crypto and the cryptoverse is the lack of interoperability. It's very difficult to get everyone's working in a silo, but if you are able to coordinate and communicate together as a group, then it's easier for us all to issue on the same blockchain, for example. And then it's easier then to coordinate and distribute a use case. It's easier to get liquidity providers to all work on the same blockchain as well. So this is the kind of thing that being together, having a forum where you can communicate will allow us to expedite the development of the product set. Transparency, what we're looking to do, as you can see, it's a nascent industry body in a nascent asset class. So we were only founded in 2022, but so far we've done well. We've got 17 issuers, 17 different currencies represented, all regulated in a manner of different jurisdictions, from Brazil, from the US, like myself, NYDFS, all the way to Australia and MAS, covering a number of sort of different jurisdictions, and of course in the Eurozone as well. What we're looking to do with regards to transparency is to help in institutions in the banking world and traditional finance participants to be able to identify quality stablecoins. And we can do that in a number of different ways. One of the things that we have started to do is write consultation papers, have policy guidance, and we just released actually some core guiding principles that we believe all stablecoins should follow. So if you look at our LinkedIn page or our website, you'll see those are the latest building blocks. We had the version 1 of our standards. We now have a guiding principles document, and those guiding principles will help us to form the next set of standards that will help build the transparency that's needed for further adoption. And the last thing is influence. I think it's important that if you want to influence good legislation, you need to make sure that you're able to represent at the right level. And again, it's that ability to do that when you're stronger together means that you have a stronger bargaining hand at the table, and you're able to bring much more global expertise and experience and subject matter expertise to the discussion. I just wanted to go through a little bit of our history. This is our journey, essentially. So this started as a Telegram group. This is a very crypto-oriented origination story. Myself and a couple of other colleagues who were working at different stablecoin issuers at the time recognized that we were effectively having to create this for the benefit of the whole ecosystem. And so it started as a Telegram group. It grew. There was a wide net of issuers at all stages of their life cycle, from very established, regulated to startups. We started with monthly best practice calls. We created a first draft of the stablecoin standards so that issuers could sense check each other. The idea of the first set of standards was that can we trust each other in order to collaborate on use cases together? As that grew, we then formalized the body in 2023. This was the formalization of the industry body. The company was set up, IP protection. We started to have monthly all hands calls. We created working groups, so policy, interoperability, and so on. We created a Slack ecosystem with our members. We created a website, and we created an advisory board picked from subject matter experts who are not necessarily from the stablecoin issues themselves, but from the ecosystem. And that would help us to move in the right direction. This year, we've moved to monetize the body. As the DEA will also know, these institutions do not monetize themselves, and need to get income in order to operate correctly, to give their members the best service. We're moving towards the standards, the second version of the standards. Consultation responses. We've just responded to the FCA and HM and Bank of England discussion paper on stablecoins. There is a Hong Kong paper that is due, and we look forward to contributing to other consultation responses as and when they come in on digital money and stablecoins in particular. We're looking to do an education campaign and thought leadership. We're having a main event, and we're looking to establish and prove the core use cases for stablecoins and implement a way for us to check the stability of the stablecoins that are members of our association.